Hello everybody, so let's do some 3D shapes. We'll see if this is helpful. So we draw a box, we draw a triangle, we draw a odd shape, like so. And we'll even draw a circle. Now, that is an ugly circle. And a circle. That is a less ugly circle. All right, so now, whatever way you want your sides to go is fine, but each angle that comes off of each corner has to be the same. And the easiest is to do a 45-degree angle. So we do a 45-degree angle off the box, and we trace the top, and we trace the side. It becomes 3D. The other way that you may be used to be doing this is you draw a shape in the front and the same shape in the back, and then you can connect them. And that's fine too, but then you have to erase whatever the front side is. And I'm going to do two things. One is I'm going to erase everything on this front side, on the top, and you can see how that's now a box. But if we put those lines back and erase this front, you can see how now it looks like we're looking at the bottom of the box. Depending on which side you erase, depends on which side the box is going. All right, so we'll get rid of that and go back to the ones up top. So I suggest to do the 45s just because it's a little bit easier. Now the light's going to come from the top, and it's going to come from the front. And so what's going to happen is this side on the right is going to be the darkest. So we're going to do several layers of hatching and cross hatching until that side is not really black, but it's at least dark. All right. Top is going to be normally the lightest, and the front side will be a little bit gray. And it gets a little bit darker down at the bottom. And I'm doing it pretty fast, so my shading is kind of scribbly, but it'll give you a good idea of what it's supposed to look like. See if that came on my screen or not. Then we do a diagonal line the other way, and we can create the feeling of a shadow. I'm going to make my pen a little bit thicker, so that it takes a little bit less time to do this. But all right, so then color in the shadow. You can see how that makes a nice 3D box. All right. All right, so make my line back small again. So for the triangle, we do the same thing. We do diagonals. Same angle as the front is in the back. What is facing up is going to be the lightest, and then we just do a nice layer. Ooh, that was kind of messy. On the front. Okay, when we want it a little bit darker, we can add some more shading. If you ever miss a line, you just go back and add to it. All right, and again, the shadow, let's say this time, well, we'll do it the same direction each time so that's not confusing. Now, it's going to be the shape of the triangle and the shape of that side together, which makes it a little bit tricky when we get into unique shapes. All right, and you can see, we'll just use the thin line this time and see how the layers work. How that eventually becomes shadow for that. Now, for more complex shapes, the rules are the same. 45-degree angles off of each side. Anything where you can go to the right, you do an angle. You wouldn't do one here because that would be behind it. You wouldn't do one here because that would be behind it. And you wouldn't want to do one there. So you only do it where you would go into open space. And then you make the top come up, the side come over. That was ugly. Seems that my pen is having a hard time. Top come over, side come down, top come over. And then you would have to decide, well, which one of these is going to be facing the sun. Mostly the tops will be facing the sun. The sides will be a little bit darker. Okay. And then if something is under something, it'll probably be really dark. So since this part is underneath the top. So sometimes you have to guess and see what it looks like. That's fine too. Down here is probably going to be really dark as well. Now circles are the hardest by far to do. But the issue is that if you balanced a line on any point, that line would go flat across, right? If it was a scale. Now if we balanced it on this side, it would go this way if we turn the screen on a diagonal, which you guys can't see. So if we do that diagonal line, and we do the same diagonal line on the bottom, and then we draw a circle back there, you can see how that becomes what's called a cylinder. All right? And so then, for this, again, what faces the sun is going to be the most bright. And then as we go to the corners, it's going to get darker. Same thing as we go underneath. The more layers of shading we get, the more round that is. And the front will just be a nice gray. Okay? I want this to be a little bit darker, I think, so that we have more of a feeling of that being in shadow. And then the shadow for this can sort of be round underneath of it. Take a little while to get this all darkened in. Notice I leave a little edge there at the bottom so that it's possible to see it a little bit better. All right, and those are some 3D shapes. So it doesn't really matter what you do, what way you go, as long as you can figure out these diagonals and they go the same way, then you can create a 3D shape from any shape you make. All right. Good luck, everybody. Happy drawing. Hope this helps.